She says the internet gaslit us about nutrition. Carbohydrates are the body's preferred fuel. The brain needs glucose. Processed food is not poison, and bloating does not mean inflammation. Now, some of those sentences contain some truth. We know this. But this is where nutrition messaging becomes deceptive. Because a technically true sentence can be still used to produce a completely misleading conclusion. The brain using glucose does not prove that you must eat carbohydrates. Yogurt being a processed food does not make it equivalent to an ultra-processed chemical formulation, yada, yada, yada. And a symptom not being a diagnosis does not mean your body is not saying nothing. So today we're asking one question, Peter. Mark's going to join us soon. Who is actually gaslighting whom? We'll get into it.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over this fucking house.
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
You know, that it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Look forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you can ever do for yourself.
And we're live. Welcome into the meat of the matter, everybody. This is the place where we talk about things. And today we've got Mark is on his way. He's apparently eating. We had a little podcast with Krista DeWeese talking about GLP-1s, and Jim Fish losing a whole bunch of weight. It was pretty cool, but we decided to go on early because it was something that we wanted to talk about. And we had internet hell. It was an unreal, Peter. The internet was not liking us talking about the big O word. I don't know if I want to use those words anymore because it seems like anytime we talk about something very important, it gets glitchy. But you know what? It is what it is. And we are here. We are live like we are every Sunday. Thank you all for joining us. I'm just waiting for Mark in the wings. And Peter, we got to talk about this video that Mark sent. I don't know if you saw it yet or not.
I've not seen it yet. No.
Okay, perfect. Because then we'll get your take on it. It'll be good. Yeah, it's just, you know, the same kind of nonsense about, you know, I'm a dietitian. I know. And then what gets taught and told gets, you know, regurgitated, and, you know, damn the people that have done it. Damn the people that have done things the exact opposite. And Mark's sending me a message here. So yeah, it's just, it seems like this never ends. And, you know, we get blacklisted for speaking our minds and speaking our truths. And it seems that we get a lot of pushback. So just give me 2 seconds to figure this out with Mark, because I don't have WhatsApp on my computer. So Peter, can you send him a link?
I can forward it, yes.
Yeah, awesome. Mark, hang in the wings, buddy. Peter's on his way. So I have an announcement to make, because after last week's conversation talking about what Peter's doing with his diet, Fleur and I have decided to do the same thing. So we are doing this lion style, man. You know, for 30 days, we're going to start with 30 days. It's just beef, salt, and water. That's all I'm doing. No coffee, guys. I know it's a miracle. It's
guys, can I just ask a quick question? Because if someone wants to watch the show, what is it? MOTM25, is it?
At MOTM 2025. That is
MOTM 2025.
Yeah. That's our handle on YouTube. So,
perfect.
Yes. So yeah, I'm doing the lion, boys. I'm beef, salt, water. That's it for 30 days at least, and we'll see.
Welcome to the crew.
Yeah, buddy. No coffee. It's been this is day 2, and you know, we were up early I was up early anyway for the podcast this morning. We did something that was like I was just mentioning to Peter how it was an interesting, Mark, how we talk about some serious stuff, and then the the internet gods were against
Oh,
us today.
stop. Yeah. Especially for Krista, because her video went viral this week. So
Yeah.
they must be onto her.
And yes, Lisa, no coffee for me. I am coffee free right now, which is weird. So maybe if I start sleeping soon, that might be the reason. But yeah. So Peter, that was you're inspiring me, buddy.
Great to hear. I think I'm going to maintain this lifestyle as well. With one exception, in about a week or so, I will eat a lot of cheese.
Okay.
And that's it. So I want to know, like, how does it feel like, oh, food is finished in the cabinets or in the fridge. I go to the farm and just like standard recipe. I don't have to think.
Yeah.
That's very different from what I do and what a lot of people do. Like you go to the supermarket for some things, you go to the farm, to your local butcher. Every time it's something else.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said about that, buddy. That's good. I mean, I have a butcher shop right across the street, which is unreal.
Yeah.
So they're awesome, and I call it's not only my second home, but it's like I see them every day, and it's my alternate fridge. It's like I don't have to do anything anymore. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And since I've moved here with Fleur, like we've moved in together, quite a year ago now. Meeting them and getting to know them, man, it's like an ace card. It's unbelievable. I've like got access to all the questions I have. Everything can be answered. It's so cool. And talking to your butcher about specifics, and they do great things for us. They like it's just it's a gift. It's the next best thing to being able to be on a farm and go to a farm. I mean, we're in the city, so so I'm blessed. And I mean, that's a shout out to Boss Meats that are in Vancouver, Canada. I'm going to do a video one day. I'm going to go in there and talk to them and show them all about like how quick it is. I mean, I can do probably an Instagram walking there in less than a minute. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy also to have like the best butcher from the Netherlands, in my opinion, like 20 minutes away. Yeah. He eats raw meat himself as well. It's grass-fed. It's all 100% grass-fed meat. Everything, every part of the cow, of the lamb. Also good pork and chicken if you want it. Because in my opinion, that's still a difficult thing. Like if you eat it sparingly and source it well. Like good chicken should cost as much as beef almost. Like at that place, I pay 30 euros per kilo for chicken.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and it's worth it.
There's actually, if anybody wants, like any normies that you have, anybody who has a client or a friend or family that wants to know that, like, there's actually this YouTube channel that I've been really following because it breaks down. It's called Bloating Canada, and they go to all these. They'll go test ground beef from all the supermarkets, and then they'll test chicken, or they'll test eggs or milk, and they do other things too, but. It's wild when you start digging deep into how the processing and how that stuff is manipulated, and it's pretty neat. So I think the channel is called Bloating Canada, and I mean that's they focus on Canada, but I mean I'm sure there's a lot of this nonsense going on around the world. I mean I'm sure it's not just us. So be wise and do your best to get. That's the way I feel, Peter, too. Is like whenever I'm delving into pork or chicken, it's quality, absolute quality first.
Is it called Broken Canada?
Broken Canada, yeah.
Everything Canadians buy seems to be getting worse, and it's not an accident.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And they go into it, and they like the way they do their testing. It's basically from a consumer standpoint, like what the product is, and they talk about like even chicken getting pumped full of water, and like when they actually cook it, you're actually all the cheap supermarkets. By the time you get the actual protein amount, the meat, it's like significantly less. You might as well go buy premium. It's wild, actually. So yeah, it's kind of neat. And I mean, especially for people that, that are sort of thinking about it, and it's just to be aware now, right? Like we're spending so much money on our food. I know probably your countries, the food prices, the beef prices, everything's going up. Yep. So it's probably a good idea to know what the hell's going on for sure. Today, boys, Mark, you sent this. I think it was last week. I wanted to do this. We wanted to do it we had our show planned last week, but this was a big one too, where, there's so many cliches. It's so many like, yeah, so many things. So I think I'm just going to play the clip and then we're just going to talk about it because it's this, you know, a lot of this stuff is the regurgitation of the same bullshit. But once we weed it out, it makes some sense. So let's play it and then we'll get our reaction to it.
These are some nutrition facts that I think deep down everybody knows, but the internet and wellness influencers have made you doubt. Number one, carbs are your body's preferred fuel source. That's not an opinion, that's your body's physiology. Just the brain itself needs 120 grams of glucose per day just to function normally. 5, processed doesn't mean poison. Frozen vegetables are processed, yogurt is processed, protein powders are processed. Just because something is processed doesn't mean that it's bad for you. Number 6, inflammation is not a feeling. Feeling bloated after eating a food is not indicative of systemic inflammation. 6A, you can't see inflammation in your face. Some puffiness or water retention, again, is not indicative of systemic inflammation. And then we see that the whole grains are down at the bottom, vilifying carbs yet again. And I thought we were past this. Previous recommendations. Now, there are things about this that I don't like. Let's talk about that. The biggest thing that's an overarching theme in this entire dietary guidelines that I don't like is them vilifying and saying that you should completely eliminate all processed foods. The reason I don't like that, as many of you know, is because sometimes that's the only access people have to food. Sure, I would love if everybody could get things from the locally grown farm, but we know that that's just not realistic. Also, when it comes to ARFID, sometimes texturally speaking, things that are processed are what's best for those individuals to actually get some nourishment in, and I would rather them eat that than not eat anything. So I really don't like the vilifying of the processed foods. Identical. Let me repeat, if the argument here is that food back then was way better and now food has all of this toxic stuff in it which is causing us all the harm, your argument implodes because they're the same. So that action. I thought of this because I'm eating my lunch and I completely made up this recipe. Now,
all right, boys. Well,
oh, painful.
What was Christopher Brandlin saying? We're not allowed to call somebody a name, but we're allowed to say that they're. I don't know what it is, but that stuff comes to mind right now because I'm looking at her going, "Wow," you know.
I mean, we just interviewed Krista about an hour ago, and she's in a situation at the moment where she's financially struggling. How come she's able to make it work? You know what I mean? She spoke to us like, what, she get a dozen eggs for like $1 and something like that. She was telling us, like, it's just that was the one piece of that video that really riled me up. Really riled me up.
I would rather them eat that than nothing at all. That's such a stupid comment.
Honestly, that really riled me up when I watched that part.
When you're looking at just ask this question, what is food? Then back it up. Okay. And sorry, Peter, we're going to get your take because this was the first time you saw this, but I want to, okay. We need to stop this bullshit about processing. Okay. We know processed food. I mean, when you butcher an animal, that's processing it. Okay. We know that. But when we're talking about hyper palatable, ultra processed food fit with chemical stabilizers, binders, preservatives, that's what we're talking about. So do we have to define that every single time we talk about it? I say no. You know, like if it comes in a package and it's got a bunch of fucking shit that's not readable, you know, you can't even read it.
They should give the benefit of the doubt. If somebody talks about processed food, we all know what it means. It's like unhealthy versions of processed food with all the additives, the sugars.
Can I just add in a point, because this is I went through this and I remember this as if this was yesterday when I ended up in a hospital for an eating disorder when I became anorexic, and most of the people looked like this woman. They were overweight, and my doctors were overweight, and this was the food I was told to eat. Back then, I hadn't got a clue about nutrition. I hadn't got a clue. So I was only 12. I was around 11, 12 years of age. So I was like, okay, what do I do here? Like, I hadn't got a clue. They were giving me, when I look back at Tony, when I look back at the food I was being given, I was given the weight gainer shakes, protein bars, jelly and ice cream, just process. And yes, it got me through my therapy. I did put the weight back on, but along came the mental health issues and the deep depression and dark thought and dark times, and nobody could tell me. And every time I kept on saying this to people, they kept on saying to me, "This is all in your heads. This will be gone. This will be gone when you grow up." And this happened for years and years and years until I got into my early 20s. If I hadn't took control of this, you guys know my story. If I hadn't took control of this, I'd be dead. I can tell you now, I would not be here.
And that's the thing, Mark, too, is like, what does this lead to? She talks about brain glucose. Well, if we know, sorry, I can't cite any studies right now, but if we know the body can produce exactly the amount of glucose it needs, that argument becomes, well, she misses the point about you need the glucose exogenously.
It's very simple. If it wouldn't work, we would all be hypoglycemic.
Yes,
I mean, that's the only way it can go.
And I mean, this is a type 1 diabetic saying this, people. So, like this is where it's this stuff. And it's like when you're talking about, like you just talked about this too a little bit, Mark, is water. We talk about this quite a bit. Why is it that everybody that goes on a low carb, keto, carnivore, whatever diet, right away, within 3 days, you lose 3 to 5 pounds, and it's water. So that bloating, it's visual. You can see it. Most people go, holy shit, I look slimmer.
But she thinks bloating has nothing to do with inflammation.
Yeah.
That's what she said in the video. Okay, when you have a bloated face, it's not inflammation. Okay, so what is it then? Tell me what is it then? Because this is what I would love to have this conversation with her, because she wouldn't be able to give me the answers. And apparently, what she said at the very, very beginning, our bodies need 120 grams of glucose from carbohydrates. Who's giving you this information?
So does that mean,
on the basis of what? How can you prove that this is the case?
So if your brain is, like, according to her, your brain needs 120 grams of glucose. So does that mean you just eat 240 grams of sucrose and you're good? Is that okay then? Because 1 part fructose, 1 part glucose. But what about it's just it always falls on its head, and it's that dietitian thing about calories and what we need, and then the food pyramid. Let's like, I'm not happy with this. That's great, you're not happy with this, but let's talk to 1 million people that have cut out carbs, got better, healed crazy things, and feel better. They're probably pretty happy about it. You know what I mean? And that's it's unbelievable how they just spin the same wheels. And I've been watching a couple things with a couple favorites of ours, Dr. Allo and Dr. Ids. They seem to always be on the side of what has been taught and told in nutrition school. And I can tell you from being in nutrition school, that is, you have a choice. You can listen to the same shit, and like Mark says, over and over and over again, where has that led you? Or you can start to think outside the box, which should be the human box, and take your health in your own hands. Because listening to that shit, especially what got you sick, what do you think? Giving yourself, if you're somebody who is suffering or borderline death on their deathbed, you're telling them to eat a bunch of shit because it's better than not eating at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, sorry, Tony, go ahead. Sorry, Tony.
Go out and educate people about how to get real food.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was the main thing when she mentioned that I'd rather you eat this instead of eating nothing at all. Now, what you can tell people is to stop eating fucking poison and educate them properly, because you are literally telling your audience to feed on poison. Now, if you don't understand this, well, when she clearly didn't understand this, well, then that's the problem right there, because we are being told this by the experts that we're meant to be looking up to, the doctors, the dietitians, the nutrition. These are the people that we're meant to be look up to, guys. I mean, this is an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. I mean, these issues are not just happening for no particular reason. You can't keep on telling me it's down to genetics, down to age, like, you know what I mean? It's down to vaccines, all this bullshit. Hang on a second. What are you putting into your mouth? That's what I want to know. And nobody's telling you, and nobody's giving you this information. Nobody.
And I get it, man. I get it. There's parents out there that are on their wits end. Like the odds are against us, man. Like, it's hard. This life is hard. Stress is hard. You know, everything's so bloody expensive. But I'm sorry, but if you can't tell me that a bunch of eggs isn't fast food, like scrambled eggs takes 3 minutes, maybe. You could probably do it in a minute and a half if it's a hot enough pan. So that bowl of cereal, from the time it takes you to pull it out of the cupboard, put it in the bowl, dump the milk on it, and start eating. Okay, maybe the eggs are what, 20 seconds fat, 20 seconds longer. That's horrible. And I know mothers, I know them that say, well, my kid has to eat something. Well, if you knew what I knew, you wouldn't be feeding them Fruity Pebbles. Like, there would not be cereal like that. It's cereal, period, let alone the sugary ones that they enjoy. And I get it. I understand. It must be hard. I don't have kids. I can't really comment on this, but I was a kid once, and I know how much I love my cereal. And, you know, if my mom gave me the option of bacon and eggs, it would probably take some time to get me to be eating bacon and eggs as opposed to cereal. But it can be done. You know, we've done it. And sorry, man, kids like meat. Every time I've been around a kid that I'm eating a steak and they're not, they want it. It's just, and that's obviously it's an anecdote, but it's just, it's unbelievable. And all these, I don't know, man. It's just, it seems like, look at how convenient it is for us to go to the supermarket and buy the shit.
But that's what I'm saying, Tony. It's about education. Like, because you're looking at it and you're saying, like, okay, who do we blame here? Because I don't like this rubbish about blaming the parents, and I get what their people are saying. I understand the situation. Like, okay, it's the parents' fault. This is the reason why your child is obese. But I don't like that. No. The reason why I don't like that is because these parents don't know. They don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know. They're just been told by the dietitians, okay, it's got nothing to do with the food. Your son has a genetic disorder, or this just happens. You know what I mean? It's like, no, guys, no. Like, I mean, this is the reason why we do these podcasts. Do them so you can actually learn. And you know what I mean? You can hear a different side of the story, and then you can make up your own mind. Make up your own mind, because this is what we're doing. We're giving you guys a second option, a second voice, pretty much. And then it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. We've always said from day one, well, I know I have. I've never stated to anybody that you need to do this. Never. I've just said, just listen to what I have to say. And then a lot of people say, right, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to go away. I'm going to watch a few of his videos. And then they end up getting the results. But then when they reach a stall and things are not working anymore, because they've been watching me for months, they're like, okay, I need to work with you now because you've got me to this position. Now I need to get me to that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And it's like, we've all had our reasons, and we have all had, like, it's so frustrating when I talk to friends that, you know, I got to a point in my life where I had to do something because it was not going well. It was going to the point of pain and, you know, just age that I thought, you know, if I don't get this under control, it's just going to get worse. I was, you know, pre-diabetic. Peter's a diabetic. Mark, you've had eating disorders and battles with obesity and anorexia. We had to do these things because I put it all on the table. It was like, if I don't change, if I don't start figuring something out, where's my life going to lead? And it saddens me that there are so many people, specifically in their 30s, that their body's still young enough to be resilient, and they're dealing with poison. They're dealing with it. And that's the scariest thing, is that they're not there yet because they don't feel it. And I often say, don't wait till you're desperate. Like, this is the awareness, this is the education that everybody in the chat's talking about, to get ahead of it. And I would give anything if I knew half of what I knew now in going into my 20s, into adulthood. I know for a fact I probably wouldn't have had to be as perfect. I wouldn't have had to do the lion diet, but it would have been so much better for my health in general to be able to make the decisions with full awareness, like to understand.
It's very
what's going on.
difficult to bring across these ideas, right? Because when you're young, you can tell young people that smoking is dangerous, or doing certain sports or whatever, or drugs, and you try them because you're young and you cannot really perceive the real danger, the long-term danger. Another thing, you talked a lot about now that it's difficult for people with not enough money to find the foods. It's difficult and without the right information. But it's difficult to imagine. But for us, it's already difficult. We already have a big why we follow this diet. We have enough money to buy decent meat. And still it's difficult because all the environmental influences, all the triggers in our environment that make us, they try to make us buy all the standard foods, processed foods. Here in the supermarkets also, when you look at the meat department, you cannot find normal meat in the main supermarket branch over here. Yeah, there is maybe one piece in the entire section that is real meat. And people don't know about these details. They just buy meat as if every meat is the same. Yeah, and it people have no perception of what meat actually is.
And that's the other side of this too. Is like once you understand that any for-profit corporation, what do you think their profit? That's their goal. It's not your health. They make claims, but the goal is to maximize profit. So what ends up happening is they process their way out of reality. Like bread is not bread. We've talked about this 100 times. Like it's not the same as it was, 150, 200 years ago. So if you're playing a different game and assuming that they're there for your protection, because we all know how our government organizations take care of us, Health Canada, FDA, I don't know what it is in Ireland or in Holland, but come on, man. Like it's clear. So that's the push, man. And if you just go into, if you can change somebody's awareness about, okay, imagine the world is not on your side, that you are responsible for you. And then just dig into it and don't stop. Like that's what I try and tell people. Don't stop at what you think is it. Go deeper. And when you go deeper into food supply, into how we used to be, it's wild what ends up happening. And you just become, I've always got my sort of this, okay, someone tells me something and you got this. I'm like, okay, well, let's look at this. Who's benefiting? Firstly, does Nabisco benefit from me eating cereal? Bloody rights. What are they going to tell me? Within the laws and within the loopholes, they're going to stretch out the truth as much as they can to get me to buy their product and consume more of it. Mm-hmm. So how many ranchers, need to tell you the ingredient list of their beef? How many true ranchers, right? It's what's in your cows. Well, they're either grass-fed or they're finished with grain or whatever. They'll tell you right there. But look at all the products. Read the ingredients. That's a good place to start. What do you guys think about that? Start reading ingredients.
Absolutely. You can't keep on looking at the fronts. Yeah. The front is nothing. Like that's what we're all falling for. Low calorie, high fiber, high protein. Nobody, and it's not even been advocated by the experts out there. They're saying, okay, don't look at the ingredients. You don't need to look at the ingredients. You don't need to be worried about the ingredients. Yes, you fucking do. Do you have any idea what these ingredients are? I guarantee you haven't got a clue. I
haven't looked at an ingredient list for like 4 years now. Yeah.
I go in and read ingredients for fun now and just freak out. It's like I walk by a product and I'll read. Oh my!
Well,
God.
I was shocked when I went to America. I thought Europe was bad, but my God, when I was in Walmart back in last year, Jesus, you guys have it really, really bad.
And Fleur and I do this. It's kind of funny. Like we'll think, okay, well maybe we'll have a little something off the rails. We'll have a little treat today. We'll do a little dessert. We walk into the store and we start looking at ingredients and we talk ourselves out of it. Like it's unbelievable. We like that because I have hard lines. Sunflower oil, nope. Like any keto treats, they're all bullshit. Nope. And then I end up coming home and making ice cream. Like we make our own ice cream. And it's just like, why do we even bother? But it's interesting as we'll say, well, maybe let's go off, or I'll do some trials and see. But I end up talking myself out of it as soon as I start reading ingredients. It's hilarious. We walk in there and we're in the store for almost an hour reading everything. And it's like, oh my God, let's just make some ice cream.
Yeah, it's easy, right? It just has to contain a little bit of seed oil, and it keeps you off of it.
Yeah. And if I could just, everybody that eats out, like eats at restaurants, I don't know, like in Canada, it's almost unaffordable now. The only thing I ever eat out is raw oysters. That's it. I mean, I will not go out and buy a steak at a steakhouse. Why would I pay $150 when I could buy the same steak for well under half that? And, if you knew exactly what these deep fryers do, every single restaurant that deep fries anything, that the seed oil is heated up, cooled down, heated up, cooled down, heated up, cooled down, is the definition of trans fat. But yet it's not when they just put the fresh oil in the deep fryer. Man, all of a sudden you start going like, no, and I don't have, that's a non-negotiable. If I go to a restaurant for an occasion, I will join the occasion and I'll have a water. And I'm sorry, but I'm like, they're like, oh, just have it. And it's wild how everybody likes it when you cheat yourself. It blows my mind. What? You're going to eat something weird? Oh, that's awesome. What? And you have a problem with me just eating steak and eggs when I get home? It's unreal. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like you can go out to any place. I think Eddie Abu did a video on this about 2 years ago. He was in a town center. He was just sitting on a bench, and he had an ice cream in his hands, and everybody was walking past him, and never judged him at all. And then he came back the next day, and he was eating like a big ribeye, huge ribeye on the same bench, and everybody was coming over to him and says, like, what are you eating that for? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, this is how we are now. We're looking at food. We're not even looking at food now. We're just looking at food.
If you were eating a thing like this here, I still have to finish it. Then nobody would notice it.
No.
The first people that notice it are small children. So like I go out walking barefoot on the street, nobody notices of the adults. No, it's not what Peter Eats episode is, but it's a brisket burger, by the way.
Looks tasty.
Double ground. So like I passed it 2 times through the.
And you grind your own, don't you?
Yeah, always, because I like my meat ground at home, just to know what's in it.
Mm.
No, but just to say that, like, nobody cares usually. I mean, if you go with this big steak like Eddie Abu does, obviously, but.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about having my butcher across the street, man. I'll say, I want that piece, and he'll grind it for me. Like, I want that thing, and he'll grind it for me. It's wild. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's nice. I mean, I think that's the best thing to do. I mean, you'll be fine with supermarket ground meat, obviously, but the risk is higher.
Or will you? Look at Broken Canada, and you'll be surprised at the ground beef.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
have to be careful, of course. But
they have there's laws about ground beef, about where the cow comes from and stuff. Especially in Canada, we've got some weird shit. But we end up getting trimmings from the States that are like what Walmart and the big corporations. They sell their trimmings to like our stores in Canada, and then you're like, holy shit, man, it's pretty crazy. I would be wary. And I mean, obviously you got to eat to what you can afford, and probably the worst beef is better than the best box of cornflakes, but it's something to be
that's interesting to mention, by the way. So that's a little bit of what Peter Eats episode, but in the supermarket I notice it immediately if there is these conservatives in it, so like the ascorbic acid or a bit of vinegar in the ground meat. I've done this at home, and it can actually be very nice. So I put 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar in ground meat. I left it in the fridge for 1 day, and it gives a very nice, a little bit of this acid, but also fresh flavor.
Yeah.
So that's and with apple cider vinegar, it's actually. I mean, it's obviously we did these things in the past, right? To conserve, to preserve meat.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's like wild that starting carnivore, I would never have noticed these flavors in ground meat. I just thought it's like pure meat, but it isn't. And we all do this probably. We all taste it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, that's the thing, right? Like you're going to be able to taste mineral content in the beef where it's raised, and it's going to have a different flavor profile than something that's, and that's why some people prefer grain finished. And I mean, when we're looking at the ruminants, getting into dollars and cents, whatever. Okay, so you like grain finished because the taste they enjoy the taste. I mean, a lot of the different grass-fed ranches is different areas and they're going to have different flavors. And I've had a couple. I've tried a couple ranches from local ranches in British Columbia where I am, and it's an acquired taste. Like if somebody was just starting a carnivore diet and this beef was very, like, I don't know, it's a hard word I don't know, I don't even have the word for it, but it's like, I don't want to say gamey, but it's earthy. Like there is definitely some notes. So we have Nancy. Hi, Nancy. And how do you feel about diet soda? I love it. Well, yeah, that's. I mean, I'm a mixed bag. I used to drink a lot of Coke, and once in a while I'll have a Coke Zero, but I'm under no impression that it's good. And that's kind of my idea. Once in a while, it's a lesser evil maybe, but is it a bridge for some people that are really struggling with sugar? You can use it as a tool, but like everything, man, there's context and nuance. But that's my.
I'm the same as you, Tony. I don't touch them. I used to be hooked on them. I used to drink a lot of them every week. But the way I see it, anything with any artificial sweetener in it, it's a recipe for disaster, in my personal opinion. As I said, I used to drink around about 4 or 5 of these a day, and I was convinced the low calorie, the low sugar was very, very healthy for me. But even though I wasn't gaining any weight, and I still wasn't feeling good.
And you know what, actually on that, if you want to know if you've got it under control, this is what I do sometimes. I'll buy one and I'll put it in my fridge and I'll test myself. If I forget about it, I'm good. If I don't forget about it, I don't drink it. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like there's obviously I don't think the artificial sweeteners are what they're cracked out to be. It's where do they lead? Like what are they doing? Are they covering something? Or are they causing a different, mental, like a brain craving? I mean, you got to be careful. But I mean, everybody's got to do their own way. And
the thing is, like when I did eliminate them for about 6 or 7 months, probably a bit longer, and I did introduce them back in, they didn't taste the same.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It tasted like Alka-Seltzer. It just like, and I used to be hooked on this. Like I said, I used to drink this like nonstop. But when I became when I was deeply fat adapted and I was healing my body and I introduced it back then, it just didn't taste good. It was disgusting, absolutely vile.
Yeah. I don't believe that anybody can have it under control.
No.
So yeah, Nancy says it herself that she definitely doesn't have it under control. So it's a lesser evil than sugar.
Yeah.
But that's about the only positive point.
Yeah.
You are not carnivore, you're not keto, in my opinion, if you drink that stuff.
And I think
same with electrolytes with similar contents in it.
Yeah.
So if you take it pure.
Yeah.
And I think if food and drink, depend on where it comes from, no matter where it comes from, if it has control over you, you've got a problem.
And I do the same thing, Lisa. Like I think that actually it's because I realized that I drink sparkling water. And that's to me my release. Like San Pellegrinos and it's my Soda Stream. We distill our own we don't drink the tap water here, but and that's a whole other probably another video, but our episode. But we distill our water, and I drink sparkling water for my treat, and I just add some apple cider vinegar in it sometimes, and just it's kind of.
I think also a lemon, for example, should be quite benign because in most people, I think it doesn't trigger any cravings for sweets or anything. Like it's even hydrating probably. Yeah. But I think that as soon as you add a sweet taste or fruit taste, like artificial, how do you call them? Artificial sweeteners and artificial
flavors.
Flavors, right? if you add those things, you are not keto, because there is, of course, the nutritional aspect, but there's also the mental aspect.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the biggest
you're
thing
not
here.
fulfilling the keto requirements.
That's the big thing.
And that's, that's actually that's the exact reason why I'm doing the Lion diet right now for 30 days. I give myself 30 days, and it's a test. It's to see, this is just getting back to basics, down and simple. I think Victoria did the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge I did in January. And these are these times for me just to go right back to basics and notice the difference, because I always learn something. And I know 30 days isn't a struggle. I'm giving up coffee for 30 days. I'm eating beef, salt, and water, but my whole thing is to test the coffee, to see how my body is without it. And then, do I need it to bring it back in after 30 days? And I do this once or twice a year to get really strict, just to see what's going on. And I know that if there's some kind of craving or some kind of draw to something else, that's probably reason to do it longer.
I always go back to basics, always, because I haven't experimented now in a long, long time. Last time I experimented was around 5 years ago. I ticked all the boxes. I was like, you know what, this doesn't work for me.
Mark's experimenting is putting his meat on a plate. That's
it. Like, honestly, I've done all the experimenting. I was like, and that's how I knew. I was getting a lot of information. I was gathering a lot of information. I was like, no, I just feel incredible when I just stick to basics. And I'm pretty much around 95, maybe 97% Lion at the moment. I have some eggs. They're not Lion. And I have that. I think, what else do I have? I think that's pretty much it. All I have is just eggs and meat, pretty much. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure eggs are not Lion, are they?
No,
they are not Lion.
No,
I'm curious what it will do to you if you exclude them, Mark.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be interesting to see, and I am going to try it. I'm going to remove the eggs.
The other reason why I stopped eggs is because I'm like, I can't get to a pasture farm anymore. Because where I used to live when I was in White Rock, I was like 15 minutes away from all the farms. Like, it was wild. But now that I've moved into the city and I'm trying, man, like, I don't trust a single brand that says, oh yeah, they're whatever, organic, farm fresh, like bullshit. If they're in a store, you can argue that. Like, I don't know. So I'm trying again. Like, I'm just giving them up to see if I notice the difference. And if I do, and for some reason, I'll just make if I want to bring eggs back in, I'll probably go back out to the farm once a month and eggs for a certain amount of time that I know. But even the farms people, like, you have to watch what they feed their chickens, because a lot of them, just because they're on a farm and they're feeding them GMO corn, wheat, and soy, that's not really any better. Yeah, they have access to their natural environment, but you got to really watch with what they're feeding their chickens, because
it's the same as with fish farming, right? So people worry about the salmon not being wild salmon, but in the meantime, they eat regular eggs from the supermarket. So pick your battles, I'd say. Go even for farmed salmon if it's given the right food. Like, it can be much better than all those eggs that you are eating. So people we should start thinking ourselves, right? So a lot of things are told on the internet, and it's like you see Paul Saladino pointing out the red wild salmon versus the artificially colored farmed salmon. Sounds very scary, but in the meantime, the same is happening with eggs.
And pork.
And people repeat what they see on the internet. So, I mean, even if it's good information, it's correct what Paul Saladino is saying, like, wild salmon is better. Yeah. But don't take it all too literally if you are not doing it across the board.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and all, like, in my opinion, I try and check myself and, like, do what you can. I mean, holy shit, the amount of money it costs to actually eat clean and perfectly. Holy, it's out of reach for a lot of people.
Probably you pay triple.
And I mean, even though I do save a lot, like, I argue with people all the time. They're like, how can you afford to eat this way? And I'm like, how can you afford not to? I mean, Jesus, go buy a Starbucks and go buy a Starbucks and banana bread, or a Starbucks.
It all adds up, doesn't it? All adds up.
You're spending $15, $16, and that's what drives me nuts. I'm like, I would rather I went out for lunch with a couple guys. They ate, I did not, and they laughed at me, but I was like, whatever. You guys are eating this burger and fries and salad. And I was like, how much did you guys spend on that? And they're like, well, it was like $23. I'm like, $23 buys me almost enough food for the day at the butcher. So, you know, and this is their lunch, right? They've already had breakfast, they've already had lunch, and then they have dinner, and they're laughing at me saying how I eat is expensive. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually not. Just touching on what Lisa says about what the caffeine withdrawals. I don't get them. I don't have caffeine withdrawals. I'm fine. Fleur does. She's right now she's drinking bone broth because she's like, I need something. So she that's how she deals with it, is we just make sure we have meat stock or bone broth.
I'm doing the same. So maybe that's interesting for Fleur, but I drink dehydrated bone broth, so powder, and I add in, first I mix water with butter.
Okay.
So it becomes one mix, and then I add in 2 spoons of bone broth powder.
Okay.
And that's my substitute for coffee in the morning. So having something warm, because coffee also was like this one thing that sort of starts up your digestive system, especially in the rear end in the morning. And so having a good warm glass of bone broth helps with some extra fat, of course.
Yeah. Do you know what my substitute is, guys? I forgot to mention this because this is what I have every single day. I have a keto brick every day, but it's only a small, like a tiny amount of like whey protein. Like it's only like 3 to 5 grams roughly. And I melt beef tallow, just melt it, and I add a little bit of beef protein to it. I put it in one of those little silicone things, and I make a block out of it. It's just a block, and it tastes amazing. There, that's what I've been doing for years and years and years, and I've never had any issues with digestion. It's just a little treat that I like to have. I can go without it. Trust me, I can go without it. I can go like months without it.
Yeah.
But I only consume it because I'm on a lot of food at the moment, and I don't want to consume a lot of protein. I would rather consume a lot of fats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm eating enough amount. I'm eating a good amount of protein at the moment, but because I want to put on size, I want to put on a lot more. I want to eat a lot more fats.
I already miss butter. Like that's one thing that I do miss. Like already, this is day 2, and I like, you know, my meal last night, I had like, you know, some extra tallow and stuff, but I was like, ooh, I miss butter. So but
butter is very addictive. That's the one thing I always say to my ladies. You need to get dairy out of diet. Dairy is addictive. That's the reason why you can't come off it. That's why it's so tasty. And I always know with women, when they always end up struggling losing weight or something has stopped, I'm like, okay, are you consuming dairy? And they're like, yes. Okay, well, we need to remove the dairy, unfortunately, but we need to remove the dairy.
But you know, dairy's a processed food, right? Processed dairy, like, oh my god. That, and then, you know, getting back to the video at the beginning with the dietitian, and then the bowl of noodles just killed me.
Oh, stop!
It just killed me.
Jesus, unbelievable.
Like, man, and it's wild to see how many people just this calorie thing won't die, Mark. Like, it just does not die, and it's like this is the quality of your food is, you know, Peter, you'll say this too. Like the quality of your food is probably the most important thing, you know, where it comes from. I'll get there. And you know, just because I don't think I used to count my calories when I started counting everything. Like when I started my low carb mission, calories, keto, like I was pricking my finger, glucose, ketones, all of it. And I kept a journal, and I did it for 2 years, and it was good to do. But I realized as soon as I was eating mostly a carnivore diet, calories meant nothing. Like they just...
well, guys, I did this week because I was trying to explain this to the experts out there so many times, and I was like, how do I actually explain this in simple terms so they can understand exactly how this works? Because I've been saying this for years and years and years. The calorie model doesn't work. It's a short-term solution. Our bodies are not calculators. We run off hormones. And I was like, how do I explain this to these people? So what I did was I put my details into one of those apps. You know those called calculator apps, right? So I put my details, I put my height in, my weight in, everything. And I said, okay, I train about 3 or 4 days a week. I'm quite active. How many calories do I need to consume? So it came up, I think it was around 2,300, something like that, right? Now, if I wanted to get in shape with what I'm in now, I'm in decent shape now. I have a 6-pack now. I'm around 12, maybe 14% body fat at the moment, probably a bit lower. I would have to consist of around 1,700 calories to get in shape. Okay. Now, I put up exactly what I eat on a daily basis. Exactly. I have 360 tenderloin on a daily basis for my first meal. Okay. Now per 100 gram now, 20 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein. Now remember, 360. I'm not going to get you guys to calculate because you know how to do this. So I said to the audience, you guys are the experts. I want you to calculate all this for me. Then I said, right, calculate 6 eggs. That's what I'm having with my first meal. Yeah. Okay. Tell me, I don't know, around 60, 70 calories per egg, something like that. Yeah. And I said, right, I'm having a tin of sardines in brine. Again, I want you to calculate the calories and let me know. So I said, right, there you go. Get that. My second meal, I'm having 2 pounds of ground beef, 18% fat. 2 pounds, not 1 pound, 2 pounds. So I said, right, you guys, make sure you calculate all that. Make sure you calculate the calories and the fats. And you're calculating the calories and the proteins. Yeah. Then my keto brick, I have it every day. I have around 50 to 60 grams of beef tallow. Again, what's that? Fats, maybe about 450, something like that. Something like that. So I'm eating a lot of fat in that meal and a tiny bit of whey protein. That's all I'm having. And I'm also having around 2 to 3 eggs with that meal. Now I said, I know when I done the calculation, it came to exactly 4,350 calories. Right? Now, have you seen me lately? I'm walking around with a bleeding 6-pack. Do I look fucking fat?
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I mean? I'm eating nearly 4 times my body weight. Yeah. And I'm still walking around with abs. Now, I got a lot of people this week and saying, well, that's not normal. That is not natural. There's no way in hell your body can do it. I'll tell you how I did it. I did it through a reverse phase. Yeah. 9 years of reverse phase where I was getting stronger in the gym. I was building more muscle. Guess what I had to do every time I built muscle? I had to feed my body. I had to feed my body more food. Yeah. Way more food. So guess what, guys? That's how I know I'm getting bigger and I'm getting stronger and I put on more muscle because 9 years ago, I only weighed around 60 kg. Around 60 kg. My weight has gone up 12 kilograms on the scales. 12. Yeah. I'm 72 now. So you're trying to tell me in that 9 years, I haven't gained any muscle without carbohydrates? Well,
that's something that actually nonsense. That ties into like Nancy's here question about menopause. Personally, 16.2% body fat, that's completely fine in my opinion, if not even a little low, just in my opinion. But what Mark's saying about strength and muscle, I believe any human should be more worried about bone density and the muscle percentage. Like
absolutely, yeah,
bringing bone density up and your lean tissue strong. Like those are the important factors. The body fat percentage. I mean, a lot of people will argue what is a healthy body fat percentage. I think if you're eating naturally and you're eating to satiety and you're getting fully nourished, I think your body's going to come into its own way, wherever that is. You know, some people will tend to be a little lean. Others will tend to be a little not lean. I mean, I've always been the short fat kid and now I'm not the short fat kid, but I'm not trying. I'm just eating to satiety. And
the biggest factor for women, I cannot stress this enough, is you guys are drastically undereating. Like unbelievably. You're putting your body under, that's why I love working with females. I'm like, listen, this diet culture that you're following at the moment, we're not doing that anymore. The cardio, the under-eating, all this crap. Like when you come and see me, that's not what we're doing anymore. We're focusing on healing the body first of all. Then we're gonna get your hormones functioning the way they should be, and then we're going in that direction. You are never going to be put on another diet ever again, ever.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyway. I think I said this it might have even been last week. It's like there's a reason why Weight Watchers is still in business. because that whole cycle has to stop. And once you get
it's a disgrace. It's an it's only a business model.
Yeah, once your body gets nourished and satiated, your body tells you. Like, I mean, every other animal on the planet knows exactly what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, what to eat, and there's a stop button. They don't have any problems. You know, if an animal in its natural environment very, very rarely gets diseased or sick. I mean, obviously, I would argue if they do happen, it's modern day influences or man that created it. And I think we're the same way. I mean, we know how much.
Yeah, I think this goes really far. Like, if you're not able to eat intuitively, you're on the wrong diet. It's as simple as that, because in the natural world, also from an evolutionary point of view, it makes sense, right? We shouldn't have to think about what we are eating. We shouldn't have to measure things. And it goes as far as being on a carnivore diet where you still have, for example, cheese.
Yeah.
So if I have cheese, I cannot eat intuitively. I know this.
Mm-hmm.
Butter, maybe even butter, but I should experiment that better.
Yeah.
But I think on a lion diet, most people can definitely eat intuitively.
100%.
With butter, it becomes tricky. That's what I hear sometimes.
Yeah. I know.
I'm interested in what Victoria said here. The clarified butter. It might be that clarified
it might
butter
be just
is fine in ghee.
The milk solids in the butter. That might be would be the thing for sure.
Yeah.
But another thing I just wanted to say too about this, like what we don't realize, and Lisa somebody made a point about there's no way I could eat that much protein. And I look at my mother as an example. She's 95 pounds. Okay. She's got no fat on her. I'm like, Mom, if you sacrifice your essential nutrients for something else and you eat less, but you're eating more, that's bad. You need to focus on what your body, she's 80 years old. You need to focus on what your body needs and eat that to satiety before you bring anything else into the table. So your salad becomes a problem if you're not eating enough protein. It's not that the salad's the problem. It's because that's stopping you from eating enough of what you need.
And that's it. That's what you hit the nail on the head there. That's why people don't do carnivore, because they think it's not sustainable for a long-term approach, because you get full very, very quickly on carnivore. But this is what I teach with people. You've got to go through the reverse phase, because if you do this properly, you will eat more over time and you will still be able to make unbelievable gains what other people are doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just takes time, but you can achieve it. But sorry, just one more thing. You have to teach your body to adapt to this food over time. Like I can tell you now, if you had said to me like 9 years ago, you will be putting away a lot of food now. The food that I'm eating right now, I'm putting away around maybe about 3.5 pounds of meat a day, probably a bit more. Now, if you had said that to me, say 9 years ago, I would have been like, no, there's no. I'll be stuffed. I'll be in bits.
Look at the size. I remember, like, I worked at a steakhouse when I was a kid, ironically. And I was like, I would look at a 12-ounce New York and be like, holy shit, that's huge. Now I'm looking at a 16-ounce prime rib going, that's
easy.
Nothing.
Piece of piss. I'd have it finished in a half an hour.
In fact, I did a video like a couple of years ago about me eating a 3-pound roast. And I just, chipped away. It got to the end of it. I was like, okay, this is when I got to stop. But I mean, I crushed it.
And the thing is, Tony, you want to just really just enjoy every bite.
Yeah.
Like you're not forcing it in. No. You're just like, you're giving yourself, if you have about an hour, enjoy that meal. Because that's why when I have a meal and I have I always have my largest meal at nighttime, I'm giving myself at least an hour. Because it's going to take me about an hour to consume it all.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? At least an hour. But I'm happy with that, because at least I've gotten it all in. It's not forced in. It's just going in naturally. I'm not. I'm not. My body's telling me, okay, you're okay to keep eating. You're okay to keep eating.
It's much better to sit 1 hour like that than, for example, 1 hour where you eat your carbohydrate-loaded meal. Finish it in 5 minutes, and then you're
hungry again.
Forced to sit at the table for another hour to chat with people,
or you'll fall asleep and wake back up and eat again.
Yeah, that as well. Your sugars go up while you're sitting, so it's horrible.
And talking about this stuff, that's probably why, when people adopt an animal-based carnivore diet, they find there's two things can happen. Some people get like, oh, because they're battling that I'm eating too much. They think that they're eating too much, but it's the body saying we need nourishment. This has never happened to us before. So your natural instinct is to take more food in, and our stupid modern brain and society says you're eating too much. This is, when animals are migrating for food, they know exactly when to eat, when to fast, when to like these are all first world modern day problems. Like we wouldn't have this if we were eating to survive and nourish and protect our families and and thrive. So it's important, and I agree with you, Mark, 100%. Most people undereat the right things. They overeat all the shit, and they think that that's filling them up. And it's like,
but that's why I have a good record with menopause ladies, Tony, because when these people come to see me, I'm like, okay, before you even speak to me, we are not losing weight. And that's a hard sell. That is a really, really that's a hard sell to convince women, because this is where I struggle the most. When women come to see me, all they want to do is lose weight, because that's what it's been embedded into their minds. Yeah. That I just need to keep on losing weight.
Weight loss is healthy.
Exactly. And when they come and see me and they hear the opposite, I'm like, okay, but listen, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're not with the average coach anymore. You're with someone completely different now. I understand the female body very, very well, probably more than you do. And they're like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, okay, well, we need to heal first. I need to tap into your mindset. I need to find out why you were coming to see me in the first place. I need to get you out of that diet culture. And once I fix all that and get rid of the scales, get rid of you obsessing over how you look. You're doing probably too much cardio. You're probably fatigued. You're probably grumpy, moody. All this. Once I get that out of the way and fix that properly, and that usually takes between a good few weeks.
Yeah.
Once I fix that problem, I can throw whatever I want at you.
Yeah.
I can focus on the diet phase. I can focus on the reverse phase. It's going to be so much easier going forward. So much easier.
That's it. It's like we've been taught to fear fat. We've been taught that overeating is like, our plate. Look at the plate stupid size when they say like, oh, you should be eating this much. You should look at 2,000 calories. Why is this a model? Where did that come from? Like 2,000 calories is a good baseline. What? How? 2,000 calories of what? Then let's go back to the Weight Watchers. That's the point systems. Well, you're allowed to drink this much wine because it's only 4 points.
Exactly.
As long as you're under 20 points a day. So what? You're going to sacrifice your protein and your essential fatty acids for a few glasses of wine? Awesome.
But that's what I'm saying. That calorie calculator, when I put my numbers in, it didn't tell me exactly my macro breakdown. It just told me that I need to consume 1,700 calories to get in shape. Didn't tell me what foods I have to eat. I just need to track 1,700 calories. Now, if I wanted to go into a different app, I could put in 1,700 calories. It would give me the macro breakdown. But 90% of it would be carbohydrate.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be any fat there. Like if I was getting a macro breakdown for 70,
it would be low fat. Absolutely,
it'd be around 60 grams. It'd be around 60% carbohydrate, around 30% protein, and around 5 to 10% fat. And that fat wouldn't be like saturated fat. That'd be like it would be coming from peanut butter, almond butter. But again, if you're eating peanut butter and almond butter, they contain a lot of calories.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
nuts do.
Nuts too as well.
Dense. Like it's
exactly.
Not,
so if you're looking at the calorie model, and we're focusing just on calories here, you are gonna be starving. Because
nuts, by the way, it's silly, right? If you eat nuts, you can also ask Google or ChatGPT, find the answer. But for most nuts, what you absorb is like 70, at most 80% of the calories that's in it. I mean, it makes sense because you can visually see them on the other end. So I questioned this already like 15 years ago when I was on the standard diet. Like, don't be silly. Like, you can read the labels. Does it say anything about what we absorb from the food, how it gets used, what's the nutrition in it?
I don't know who it is, but there's a couple people out there that they wish that was the case. Like bioavailability and absorption rates should be discussed. You know, we talk about glycemic index that realistically, Peter's probably different than I am. If I was going by a certain thing and I told him as a type 1 diabetic to follow what I do because I'm following a glycemic index, Peter would probably be in a lot of trouble, you know, or could be in a lot of trouble.
Glycemic index is really a false friend. Like it's a big load of rubbish.
Yeah. And I mean, it also doesn't account for what else you're eating with things, right? Like it makes perfect sense when you see this. But I mean, and that's the thing. Like, who is it? Peter Ballerstadt talks about the DIAS score, which should be the protein metric, the digestible indispensable amino acid score from different foods, which makes sense because it breaks down the amino acids and the absorbability in your gut. I mean, still, I don't know if you need to know this. If you just eat meat, it's pretty simple. Like you don't have to worry about all this shit, but it
exactly. Just get back to basics, guys.
And that ties back into this whole dietetics video that we watched and started this episode with. It's like, it's all these half truths. It's like they give you these half truths, but then they pull the
distractions.
They're not helping you. That's the thing. Like they're only focusing on one objective.
Yeah.
And you cannot tell me that the food that she had in that video, or the information that she had in that video, is going to help you with your eating disorder, because you're looking
giving you a reason to be okay, to be sick.
You're looking at someone that dealt with it twice. I was obese and I was extremely thin. I know a thing or two about eating disorders. Trust me.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this field. Like it's incredible, and we're all focusing on the wrong part. And like you said, Tony, it's like we're all focusing on calories, body image. That's where we're going at the moment, because when you look at what's going on in the world at the moment, everybody just wants to look a certain way, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get there. Whether you want to look big, you know what I mean, whether you want to shrink down, we have the solution for you. We can't do this naturally, but we have the solution for you. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's like there's no information, and this is why we go back to what I don't know if we said on this podcast, or I did say on this podcast, that when we look at the parents, I will never blame the parents.
No,
I just can't.
I would never blame my mom.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I was obese when I was younger, and like my parents, I would never blame my parents for what they did to me, ever.
Do you know the conversations I have with my mother now? And she looks at me and she's like, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "For what?" She's like, "I couldn't believe, like, all I wanted to eat, guys, when I was a kid was meat. All I wanted to eat. I hated vegetables." And it was to the point where my grandmother would go out of her way to make sure I could eat like sliced, like raw carrots and raw cucumber. Everything else was like a hard no. And I was ridiculed in my family. The kid's picky. He's going to get this. He's going to get like, you know, and now with my diet, helping my mother with her diet, she's like, "Oh my Lord, I feel so terrible." I'm like, "It's not your fault, Mom. This is the programming. This is the modern day way. Like, it's not, you know," and I feel for all parents out there, man. It's hard enough.
It is. It's extremely difficult. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I'll never be one of those people that will get on social media and say, "Okay, well, you should be ashamed of yourself feeding your kids that way," because I think that's wrong. I really think that's wrong. Even though I don't agree with it, but it can be dealt with in a better situation, in my opinion.
Shout out to all the moms out there. We love you, and all the parents. We respect you, and
we're doing. At the end of the day, there's a lot of parents out there that are just doing their best.
Yes,
and they just want the best for their kids, and they don't want to see any harm come to their kids. But what I would say to you guys is just do your research. I mean, that's all. Just do your research.
Well, that's the thing that breaks my heart, man. Is I remember the nutrition, like classes I had in school. Like I remember when we talked about learning what fat, carbohydrates, and protein was. It was so vague and bullshit. And it's actually, if think about it, like all the stuff that we know, if you could put it into a package and just start the kids off understanding this as they go. I mean, of course there's going to be rebels. There's going to be hard to deal with kids, and there's going to be, but the general health of childhood would be a little bit better. And of course our kids are going to eat. I don't want to strip away all the joy that I got from eating ice cream with my mom when it was like at the beach and it was like a beautiful day and it was like a treat. but we got to understand that we're having treats 16 times a day, and that's the problem.
That's the problem. You can't shut it off. It's just like it's out of control. It's literally out of control, and it's everywhere. Like no matter where you go, it's going to be there in front of you, and it's so cheap to buy as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out this comment from Lambs, because that's very true, right? That we identify with diseases, the labels that we get from the doctor. People that are obese, they might think that at some point they can only do gastric bypass or so, because they are basically obese, that there's no solution. With diabetes, it's the same. There are a lot of type 2 diabetics that think that it's not reversible.
Yeah.
And on social media with type 1 diabetics, I see this a lot. They identify as type 1 diabetics. They are sort of proud almost being type 1 diabetic, showing off that they are injecting on the street and so on. I mean, obviously you should be able to do that, but like don't make a big point of it. And also don't make a big point of the fact that you can still eat all the sweets that you want. Because although you are type 1 diabetic, it's like almost activism, as if they have the right to eat it. Yeah. And stop identifying with the disease that you have. Like,
well, you know what? I have a girl that comes to my meditation class. She comes, and Fleur and I do a breathwork meditation class, and I have to hold my tongue, because it's just like she identifies with all these diagnoses, and I'm like, you're trying to heal spiritually, but yet you're just unaware of, and I mean, it's sad, because she's in the loop, she's in the programming, she identifies with her illness.
That's what happens a lot as well, that they try to find psychological help or spiritual help to sort of deal with this disease, instead of
exactly.
I see it with type 1 diabetes, especially, like a lot of influencers that tell them, like, well, maybe you should just accept that your blood sugars are going like this.
Yeah. But I
deal with it psychologically.
Mark, you did. Let's talk about it.
I put a video on about this the other day. Tony, did you see it?
My God. Okay. Fleur is a hypnotist. Okay. She helps women with stuff, and she's a hypnotist. That guy.
Unbelievable.
Firstly, if you're trying to get into a trance state and you're trying to get into your subconscious, that whole little 15-second spiel that he did is not a hypnosis session, for one. But for two, you have to understand that the body is doing things. Hypnosis may help you, but if you don't understand the root cause of what's going on, you will never, ever, ever get right, because your brain is on a drug. And
so basically, Peter, what he was doing was he was speaking to the camera, and he says, "Listen, you don't have a sugar problem. I want you to listen to my. I want you to listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. I can help you get off your sugar." I was like, "Holy fuck!" Honest to God. And I was like, "How are people watching this shit?" Honestly, it's just unbelievable.
Because, I take people through guided meditations, and we have a guided meditation. I never told you guys this, but we have a guided meditation channel. We do I do breath work. This is all part of something, for sure, but this does not make an excuse to just that. This guy's basically saying, "Oh, just listen to me and your sugar addiction will go away." That's not the way it works, man. And I was that really pissed me off, Mark, when you sent me that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's claiming that don't worry about it. Just trust me, listen to my voice, and your sugar addiction will go away. That's not the way your body
Honestly,
works.
When I saw this video sent on to me, I got videos sent on to me regularly. This by far was the worst video I've ever got.
This happens on a mainstream level as well, right? Like people can go to coaches that just help them to deal with eating disorders or addictions, eating food addictions, and try to find ways like this 80-20 types of rules, like you should still include a little bit and put it all right in order emotionally, and then you're fine. And
it's funny.
It doesn't work like this always.
You can't moderate sugar or addiction. You just can't.
This is the problem, is that every single person that I've helped spiritually with breath work, Fleur's helped women like with sexual trauma, like serious shit. You still have to do the work. It is not easy. And it is not just a one and done. I go get hypnotized and I'm good. This is not the way it works. And it takes work. And I mean, we've all battled somewhat of a sugar addiction in some way. Well, Peter has to, because he's, type 1. But this is where, if you're not willing to put in the work, you are destined to fail. It's acknowledging and putting in the work and
time.
Giving people false hope.
Just time.
Giving people false hope that this is the whole reason why there's drugs. Don't worry about it. Just take this drug, you'll be fine. And
but isn't it amazing that you can drink alcohol, but nobody will say to you,
nothing.
"Okay, don't give it up." You know what I mean? They won't say it to you at all. But when it comes to eating the way we eat, they'll see this as an eating disorder.
Yeah, and I'm 100%. Like, I opened up, and I hate saying it, but it's having my spiritual awakening because my brain was working. And when I went carnivore and I had this, it was like questioning nutrition led me down all these other rabbit holes of questioning everything and led me to doing these things. But it's not easy. And like you just said, Mark, you have to, an addiction is an addiction, and there's mind, body, and soul have to come into balance.
But if we switch the mindset from, this is what I've been saying for years, switch the mindset from the diet culture to just healing.
Yes.
Heal the body.
Yeah.
Forget about how long it's going to take. Don't worry about how you look. Just let's focus on what's important here. And that's getting your body in a good state. Yeah. And once you feel, you guys know what I'm talking about. You feel great. You know what I mean? You have this aura about you guys. Like you know what I'm talking about here. You just feel incredible, guys. And then you can do whatever you want after that then.
Yeah.
It just comes second nature. Weight loss, your hunger habits, everything is just perfect. Yeah. That's where we need to go. Because I think a lot of people in the world at the moment are lost.
Yeah, because they don't understand.
They're just lost.
Fighting their bodies because their bodies are, it's signals. It comes down to the signals. The signals that you're sending your body are danger, unsafe, and, miscommunication. If you don't get those in check, no amount of anything is going to help. Like, and that's a physical thing. And I believe in, a higher power and spirituality. But your body, you're connected to this earth, and your body is part of it. And what is all this modern day food bullshit crap doing? They're disconnecting you from earth, like from nature. And that's a tough one. And you can't, I mean, if you're trying to come off sugar and all your friends and family have candies and sweets around, how much hypnosis is going to help you? You need to deal with this stuff.
It's not only the food, right? I noticed that when I'm in a natural environment, also when I'm feeling happier, but let's say in a natural environment, that's a big part. So when I'm on holidays, camping or so, then things go much easier in terms of eating the right foods and not giving in to addictive behavior when it comes to food. But here I'm sitting in a high-rise building. I mean, we're all sitting inside. Yeah. I would love to live in a place on a farm where I'm outside every day, but it's not possible basically in this society. In a country like the Netherlands, try to find a place where you have a decent income, a place to live near a farm, make your own food. It virtually doesn't exist. Yeah. But in such an environment, I wouldn't worry a second about what I eat and all the influences that I get from a supermarket visit, but also going to office, sitting there all day inside, basically with one small window.
Yeah, staring at a screen, man. I'm serious. Like after like, we've all been like pretty social media active. I get burnt out more on a day of doing social media stuff than I do a day of doing physical shit outside. Like, it's unreal. I'm more exhausted. And that has a thing to say, Peter. And I agree with you, man. Like I can't wait.
Yeah,
Like we're trying.
Lisa is doing that very nicely, of course.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Traveling, so.
Well, Lisa, you may have 3 guys that are knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for sure. I can't wait. Like, I mean, I'm going away camping and getting out in the stars and by a river and just fire, steak, river, sun, beautiful. I love it. Everybody party at Lisa.
Everybody goes to Lisa. Yeah.
Well, hey, you never know. There's loads of room for tents.
Oh, actually, that's maybe funny to tell, but I've been to England 3 times, 3 weekends, like all in July almost, I think.
Yeah.
Really weird. And I'm planning to go there more often with a tent, but the tent will be my car. So I'll just redesign the back of my car, do a bit of stealth camping, maybe, who knows? But yeah, it's, I want to do this more often.
Peter's going British. He's gonna be be an honorary Brit, the Brit carnivore. Well, boys, I think that's maybe a time to wrap this one up. It was always a pleasure. I had fun. It's
that was a busy day, Tony.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We're gonna do that again with Krista because we just got hammered with the internet glitching today. It was before this one.
Tony, Peter, a quick question for you. What are you doing on Wednesday?
What time? Nothing planned, I think.
We have Dr. C. West on Wednesday, and we're going to be talking everything about type 1 and type 2. If you're available, I'd like to get you on that episode.
He's the carb addiction doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. C. West. Victoria knows his name. But yeah, I think it's Wednesday. Oh, sorry, Victoria, if you're watching, just put in the inbox. Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Mark's lost without you, Victoria. He needs you. He loves you.
She's the one that looks after all this for me. Yeah, but C West, I think he's on the 5th. When is the 5th? No, I think it's Thursday. Actually, I'm not sure.
Well, that'll be good.
Victoria will tell us if she's there.
Well, boys, we'll finish this one up, and we'll we'll be back next week. I think Peter and I might be away on August 9th. And before we wind it up, I just want to mention to everybody, if you are watching it on Peter or my YouTube channels, we will eventually be weeding out this show to be specifically on the Meat of the Matter channel. That's at MOTM 2025. Please go over there and subscribe to that channel because we're trying to boost the algorithm for this, and it seems that it spreads out everything. So we're trying to and we'll do that probably in September, but just getting everybody known to go over there. And we appreciate each and every one of you, and appreciate all the action in the chats today. Thank you. So any last words, boys?
Yeah, just be careful who you listen to on social media. There's a lot of bullshit out there. That's all I'd say. Just be very careful. Do your research. You don't need to listen to the same crap all the time because you're listening to that all the time. It's not working. There's 3 of us here. Listen to us every Sunday. You know what I mean? We're always speaking about different subjects. If there's a subject that's going on in the world at the moment that you want us to talk about, send us an email and we'll talk about it. This is what we do on a Sunday. So anything at all, guys, let us know. I'm keeping an eye on social media. The guys are as well. But if you find out there's anything going on in the world at the moment that we need to speak about, send me an email and we'll definitely cover it on this episode.
Yeah. And where do people find you, Mark?
If you want to find me, guys, just go onto my website. It's Fitness Beyond Time 01. And if you want to reach out to me, our other podcast is called Carnivore Evolution. I'm doing this with Victoria Olsen. And we do this 5 days a week. Just goes out to the average person, the average carnivore. If you ever want to come on, send me an email at nsmark93@gmail.com.
I want to come on and talk about GLP-1s.
We'll have you on very soon, buddy. Don't worry. Don't worry.
And Peter?
That'll be like a 3-hour episode, Tony.
Yeah, man, it might be. I got a lot to say. That's said. Peter?
Yeah, I agree with Mark. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful, especially when they say that they are evidence-based or that they are certified nutritionists, dietitians. I mean, in the past, I would think like, okay, it sort of gives an indication, a first indication whether you can trust a person like this. Nowadays, I think like, stay away from them. That's what it says. Nothing to add. But
And when they say trust the science, ask them a simple question: Did they make up the science themselves?
Yeah.
Always ask questions, guys. Always ask questions. Don't just settle for what they tell you.
If they have to emphasize that they do, then it's very likely that they actually don't. That's
and if they take the fifth, don't believe them.
Oh,
if they plead the fifth.
That was unbelievable.
That's how much we trust science. Where do people find you, Peter?
At those two names mentioned over here. Okay. Dutch content on Dutch Carnivore. So I have to point here, right?
Other way.
The other side.
This one.
The other side.
And Low Carb Perspective, I'll be making some English content soon, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
About type 1 diabetes, because that's, I think that's needed.
And we'll definitely get you on that episode on Wednesday, Pierre, because this is going to be definitely up your avenue on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that's I'm excited to be there.
Yeah.
And like these boys said, everybody, don't trust us. Challenge us. Go do your own research. Do your thing. Blindly following somebody for the sake of it because you like them. It happens. I know. But anything that we say, just go and learn for yourself. And I mean, it's like what Peter said. Anytime say, "Trust me, bro. I'm a nutritionist." Well, trust me, I'm not a nutritionist for that reason. Exactly, because my schooling taught me exactly what I shouldn't be part of. So just be wary, and please, everybody, like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. A thumbs up goes a long way. If you can, in the actual download of it, leave us a comment. If there's anything, like Mark said, you want us to talk about, we'd be glad to do it. And we are here every Sunday. If you want to reach out to me, it's at TonyStewartCoaching.com. Of course, you can find me on internet at Tony_food for thought. I'm also doing lifeafterglp1s.com for anybody that's having struggles or coming off GLP-1s. There is a free platform with a bunch of stuff that's got an assessment, a guide, a bunch of things that is completely free. Whether you want to work with me or not, that's not the point. The point is to get information out there to help people come off these things accordingly. And spoiler alert, your metabolic health matters no matter what you're on. So that's the root of everything. We are the Meat of the Matter. We're here live every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and in Europe. That's Mark. He's Peter. I'm Tony. Thank you all. Love you all. Appreciate all your support in the chats. And we'll talk to you next Sunday.
See you there, guys. Bless.